Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday service. You all know I'm Reverend Jennifer Spear, and for those of you online, we are Living Beyond Limits, a part of Centers for Spiritual Living, and I welcome all of you. So I invite you now to join me in reading our mission statement that's on the front of your bulletin. We are a sanctuary where people can discover and reveal the presence of God within their own being and experience their oneness with all life. Through the realization of this inner presence of love and peace, we give way to the evolutionary impulse of the divine and become a beneficial presence in the world. So that's what we're doing here at Living Beyond Limits, as we are waking up to our own divine nature, to that within us that is essential to our beingness, because it is spirit. It is what we have come from. It is what we have come as. It is what we are here expressing. And so we are creating this sanctuary of people here who support us in discovering that. Because when we discover our own essential nature, the divine within us, we come to the world differently. We aren't as reliant on the world being what the world needs. Of course, we would prefer the world to be peaceful and loving and kind and generous, but we aren't dependent on it being that way in order for us to be that way. So we come to the world more peaceful, more open-hearted, more generous, more kind, more loving, feeling connected to everyone and everything. And then as we do that, we act as a healing presence. We act as a beneficial presence in all of our activities. And because everything is connected to everything else, not just is it whoever we are interacting with, but it actually affects the whole, like ripples on a pond. And so I thank each and every single one of you for answering the call of your own spirit, to be walking this path, to be bringing your light into this world in a way that is beneficial to the whole. Thank you for that. Well, happy Thanksgiving week, all of you. Did you know, I did not know this, I just learned this week, that actually indigenous people performed rituals around Thanksgiving, giving thanks, focusing on giving thanks, and had harvest festivals long before the Pilgrims set shore on America. They gathered and had communal feasts as early, it was recorded as the 11th century, 5 centuries before the Pilgrims arrived. And in Cahokian, Missouri, they gathered with neighbors in late summer and early fall, giving thanks to deities, smoking ritual tobacco, and eating special food, all around gratitude and thanksgiving. And in the 1630s, the Puritan ministers, actually of the state-sanctioned religion, which was the Congregational Church, they did more than just sermons on Sundays. They did sermons also regularly around gratitude and thanksgiving at other days of the week. Gratitude especially for what they considered to be divine intervention, for military victories and epidemic reliefs and other things like that. And so the practice of Thanksgiving has spread for a long time and moved through humanity for a very long time, and then became an official national celebration under President Lincoln in 1863. And so today, we celebrate Thanksgiving. We have a traditional Thanksgiving meal and get together with family and friends and loved ones and give thanks for all of the blessings in our lives. I also think it's really interesting that as we have this focused holiday that I love that is all about Thanksgiving, it backs up to Black Friday. And if you don't know the history of Black Friday, it was actually named because traditionally it was the first day that people did Christmas shopping, and because of all the spending that happened that day, it was the first day that the books from the stores, the merchants, went from the red to the black. It became Black Friday, moving out of the insufficiency to abundance. And so I think for us, it's really symbolic, Black Friday even, about moving from an experience or a perception of being depleted and there not being enough to an awareness of sufficiency and enoughness. And so with all that is happening in the world right now, and with all that is happening in our country, I think that setting aside time for us to recognize the good in our lives, to recognize all of those things for which we are grateful, and to fan the flames of our gratitude and our sufficiency might be more important now than at any other time. You know, it's really easy to feel joyful and satisfied and full when everything's going really well. But when things are challenging, whether in the world or challenging in our own lives, that feeling of sufficiency and gratitude is not the first place that our minds naturally go to. It's so easy, as we all know, we have this negativity bias. It's so easy to focus on the negative, to focus on the things that are happening in the world that don't align with our values, the things that we see as unjust, like some of the stuff that is going on with immigrants in this country or other people. It's so easy to focus on the decisions that are being made that we believe are going to hurt large swaths of people. It's so easy to keep our focus on that and to sit in our anger, to sit in our indignation and our frustration and our worry. And so actually this quote was the inspiration for my talk today. Harriet Mullen says, "Thankfulness doesn't require everything to be perfect. It only asks us to recognize what is precious." You know, studies show that actually gratitude increases our happiness. It increases our well-being and our life satisfaction. It lowers anxiety and depression and anger. Gratitude enables us to be healthier and less stressed and more optimistic. And I think you all know this. Practicing gratitude actually trains our brains to see the good in our life, to see even more good, to notice it when we practice gratitude. And so I told you this story before, and I don't know if you remember it, but it was so astounding to me. It was probably last year that I was sitting at a restaurant on a patio outside, and there was a table near me that had 3 men at the table. And one of the men said to his other friends there, he says, "I don't get this Thanksgiving thing. I mean, I'm responsible for everything that I have in my life." I was astounded. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, are you responsible for building your house? Are you responsible for designing and installing the heating in your house? Did you create the mattress that you're sleeping on? Or did you even deliver it and set it up? How about that soft, warm blanket that you're sleeping with at night? Are you responsible for that? How about the car you drive? Are you responsible for that? And what about the mix of the gasoline? And what about the paved roads? And what about whoever it is that designed those roads so they all connect with each other and you can pretty much go anywhere you want in this entire country? How about the burger you're eating? Did you make that burger? Or raise that cow? Or grow the wheat that made the bun on your burger? Robert Louis Stevenson said, "The person who forgets to be thankful is asleep to life." You know, as people who are awake, we want to feel thankful. As people who are awake, we want to feel happy. We want to feel content in our lives because we want to feel grateful for the good that's in our lives. Because when we feel grateful, then we feel good. then we feel happy, then we feel full and satisfied. It doesn't negate the fact that there are things happening in the world that aren't to our liking. It's in addition. Reverend Scott Aubrey said, "We see the origins of Thanksgiving's gratitude." Let me say it again. "We see in the origin of Thanksgivings that gratitude often takes root in difficult seasons. The first harvest gathering wasn't polished or perfect. It was simply a moment when weary people recognized the gifts that had carried them through. Gratitude still works that way. It gathers us, lifts our perspective, and helps us see how much of life is sustained by the generosity of others. When we give thanks, we join a long lineage of people who dared to look at hardship and still name what is good." We want to recognize the good in our lives. We want to have hope. And gratitude shifts our focus so that we have hope. We want to feel connected to humanity. And when we recognize our gratitude, that enables us to feel connected to all of those people that contributed to all of those things that we have in our lives. And so the title of my message today is Wide Receiver, as in arms open wide to receive that we are. And I'm actually talking about taking time to identify the things in our lives for which we are grateful, and how that helps us recognize our connection with the many people who have contributed to our lives, who have friends and loved ones, and people we've never met, and people we will never know. Gratitude creates a reverence for all of it. And so there's a story that I'd like to share with you. When Mrs. Klein told her first graders to draw a picture of something for which they were thankful, she thought how little these children, who lived in a deteriorating neighborhood, actually had to be thankful for. She knew that most of the class would draw pictures of turkeys or a bountiful laden Thanksgiving table. That was what they believed she wanted and what she expected of them. What took Mrs. Klein aback was Douglas's picture. Douglas was so forlorn and likely to be found in her shadow as they went outside for recess. Douglas's drawing was simply this: a hand, but obviously, whose hand? By whose hand? The class was captivated by his image. "I think it must be the hand of God that brings us food," said one student. "A farmer," said another, "because they grow the turkeys." "It looks more like a policeman to me. They protect us." "I think," said Lavinia, "that it's supposed to be all the hands that help us," but Douglas could only draw one of them. Mrs. Klein almost forgotten Douglas in her pleasure in finding that the class was so responsive and involved. When she had the others at work on another project, she bent over his desk and asked him whose hand it was. Douglas mumbled, "It's yours, teacher." Then Mrs. Klein recalled that she had taken Douglas by the hand from time to time, as she often did with children in her classroom. But she was surprised that it meant so much to him. This author goes on to say, "Today give thanks for the gift of hands in your life, your own and those others who companion and are still companioning you on the path of life. Helping hands, affirming hands, encouraging hands, healing hands, open hands, and the hands that have brought good into your life." And so I'd like to give you the opportunity today to name the people, both those people that you know and who you don't know, who have made your life better, who have contributed to you having a richer life, a more joyful life, a more peaceful life, an easier life. And so, like I said, the people that you know and people that you don't know. So the people that you don't know might look something like the person who designed my water heater and the person who installed it. Oh, I do know his name, Sam. Or the person who designed the mattress that I'm sleeping on. But what I want you to do is I want you to name the people, not necessarily the thing. The people to whom you are grateful for the good in your life. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to write. So keep working on that, celebrate that this Thanksgiving. And shifting gears, I want to say too, we live in this society who endlessly presses us to accumulate, to buy, to consume, to get more things and buy more stuff. And so I have a question for you. How long do you think you could spend in your house and be entertained, enjoy yourself, feel fulfilled, be creative, without acquiring anything new? How long do you think you could spend in your house and enjoy yourself? You could bring in new food, of course. Years, someone says years. I know for sure I could honestly easily spend a year in my house and not even get through the books that I have in my house, be totally entertained. There's so much that we have that we don't even notice or pay attention to, give credit to. So there is a Japanese term that's called kansha. Kansha refers to deep appreciation rooted in humility and the awareness of our interconnection. Kansha is gratitude lived as a daily posture of the heart. It is the quiet recognition that life is supported by countless unseen hands. And so when we practice kansha, we recognize all of that good that has come into our lives through all of those other people in this world. And so what if you spent time this Thanksgiving and time regularly practicing kansha, practicing a deep appreciation and a recognition of your interconnectedness with all these people, because really the person that I'm grateful for that installed and designed and created the hot water heater also had parents who also had hundreds and thousands of people that contributed to their life for them to even be able to do that thing. We are connected with all of those people. And so that kansha is about having an inner contentment. It's a contentment that is born of communing with your own full heart rather than acquiring something else in your life, rather than having external gain. And so my invitation to you this Thanksgiving and this week is just regularly to take time to identify the things in your life for which you are grateful. Revel in the good that's in your life. And recognize the people that are responsible for that good that you have in your life. You could do things like start a gratitude journal and write in it every day some things that you're grateful for. You could share with your partner at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, things that you're grateful for from that day, or in that week, or even the things that you're grateful for in your life. You could create a jar where you write down notes and put them in there of the things that you're grateful for. You could start a photo journal, make a folder in your phone and start take a picture every day of something that you're grateful for, and then go back and look at all those pictures. And as you look at them, you get to experience your gratitude all over again. Ask one of your friends to share what they're grateful for and share with them what you're grateful for. Celebrate that good in each other's lives, what you're grateful for and who you're grateful to. And as a result, you will feel more content and more happy, little bit less stress and anxiousness because it shifts your perspective, experiencing a heart that feels full, living with a greater awareness of your connection with this human family, and more aware of the good that really fills every single moment of your life. And so happy Thanksgiving to you, happy celebration of gratitude, and blessings to you on this path of remembering and being awake and celebrating this life. Blessings to you. And so I invite you to join me as we turn our attention to the capital T truth, recognizing that omnipresence of spirit, that one in which we live and move and have our beingness within, that one that is living and moving and having its beingness in and through each one of us, in and through and as this entire planet. And so I recognize that the fullness of this infinite presence is everywhere present, in its fullness, at every point in space, at every point in time, here at the tip of my finger, at the center of my heart, at the center of my life and the center of your life. And so what I recognize right now is that we are each being poured out a blessing that is larger than we could ever contain. That the blessings are pouring into our lives and overflowing, for they are endless. And so today we open our hearts as wide receivers in receptivity of all of the good. And we also open our hearts and our minds to that which we have yet to receive. Wisdom and guidance and wholeness and peace and health and abundance. Good beyond measure. Recognizing that that presence is pouring itself into each and every single person on this planet, into every home and every heart and every mind and every place of business, every government. Right now, revealing itself as a higher way, as a better way. And I know that this is the only power that exists. And so in our recognition of it, the darkness dissipates. The darkness disappears into the nothingness from whence it came, for there is no power to support that. The only power in this universe is that infinite spirit, consciousness, the one mind and love and heart of the divine. And so today we lean into that presence, recognizing that it is making itself known everywhere right now. Everywhere, even where we have not been able to see it. In political arenas, in political offices, in decisions that are being made for this country and for its people. Immigration, healthcare, all of it. Spirit unfolding itself as evolution and growth and good and ever greater good. And so today we just place our trust and faith and confidence in this truth. And so I release this word into the creative law of the universe, knowing that it is unfolding itself right now because it is the truth and because we say yes to that. And so I release this prayer in gratitude, and I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is. And so I have a couple of invitations. One is next week we will not be here. We will be at El Dorado Nature Center doing forest bathing, 10 o'clock regular time. So I invite you to join us for that. It's a time to just let go of everything and be filled up by nature, and it's lovely. We are doing a Christmas project where we have adopted a family from the Long Beach Women's Shelter. It's a mom and 2 kids. There are 2 gift tags back there if you want to participate in that and buy a gift. I think one is a pair of Converse tennis shoes and the other one is athletic gear of something for a kid. There's still that. On December 23rd, we are going to be having a holiday party at Chris Braunschweiger and Peggy Toole's house after service. So we invite you to wear your holiday attire, whatever that might be, and to bring a appetizer to share and to join us for a party after service, Peggy. To let you know that our Sunday talks, December 23rd, it's in your bulletin. December 23rd. No, December, yeah. Our Sunday talks are available on our website. They are also on our YouTube channel. They get posted to our website, and I send out an email, usually on Tuesday. If you would like to be on our email list and aren't, if you sign our guest book in the foyer, we can get you on our mailing list, and then those talks will land in your inbox so that you can listen to them or share them with friends. And we invite you to share them with friends. I invite you to go on Facebook and like the talk when it's posted. We've been boosting the talks that have been being posted so that they continue to go out every day for 5 days. Usually you have to pick a parameter of who it's going to. I usually pick people that like our page and people like them. So go like our page, and that increases our audience. The chances of it landing in someone's email box that it thinks like you do increases those chances. Check in on Meetup and say that you're coming. Follow us on Instagram, and we have prayer support after service and prayer shawls if you would like to take one. Yes, Olivia?
Service is on December 21st.
Then it's the 21st. I put the wrong date in there. Okay. I had it written down wrong, the 21st. I know, I was thinking it's not really the day before Christmas Eve. It's the Sunday before Christmas. The Sunday before Christmas, we're having a Halloween. We're having a holiday party. If you want to wear your Halloween costume, you can, but all right, I think that's all I have to say. So I invite you to repeat after me. Good fills my life now.
Good fills my life now.
I recognize it.
I recognize
I
it.
savor it.
I savor it.
I love it.
I love it.
And I live it.
And I live
And
it.
so it is.